Hi, this is Sniz with Bloodbane, Lord of Ultima, World 11. I'm going to try to keep this one short. I always say that, and I very often go long, but I wanted to kind of cover what I'm doing as far as taking out some of the small single-player threats, and this is a single city to single city assault method, and it's a little bit about the fact that I don't want to conquer these waterways, at least one of them. I'm probably not going to conquer either one. I have a theory that I've done in different stages, but I haven't done in all in one swoop. So I'm going to tell you what I'm planning here. Hopefully I'll have a confirmation that this full system actually works soon, as far as a way to basically decastle a location. But I will use, basically this is my Epsilon castle and cluster. It's on a Continent 10 shrine in the southern end. This guy was actually originally not castled, and I was getting ready to hit this guy. In fact, I sent a assault on him. I ended up backburnering him. He'll be next. But just as I was actually sent the first assault, wiped the troops, and getting ready to hit him hard, this guy castled, and he was a little closer and a little higher score, if I call at the time. Yeah, he was in the mid 3,000 range. So I went ahead and shifted my attacks to him. Now, just to give you an idea of what I'm going for here, I want to demolish this castle, and it's actually faster to take out with catapults, especially once you have a larger number built. I'm still building this one. It's actually faster to pound into the ground than it is to go in there and destroy buildings. So basically I opened on him with a single assault. I only had 35,000 at the time, so I sent 35,000 Zerks. His score was in the 3,500 range, I think, a little under 3,500, I think. This was his only city, so I didn't have to worry about any support or anything like that. And I basically walked in there, and in the opening wave, I wiped every troop he had built up. It's important to understand who your opponent is. In this case, I know he's got a single city producing resources and troops, which means he's going to be slow to replace troops. He's going to be slow to have the resources to do it. So to go in there and just wipe what he has, he's going to have very little ability to produce anything in the time that it takes me to get hit with the second wave. So the opening attack was a straight assault, and then I followed that up with a what's that? No, not sure what that was. Oh, I think I just sent another assault. Oh, that's what it was. These are timed 1 minute apart. I hit him with an assault to build up anything that might had accumulated in that hour, followed by a scout mission just to check, and then 1 minute later, the siege hit. The siege hit. This was the first siege. The siege, I sent the berserkers on siege to hit first. Then the reinforcements, the catapults that I had built at that point, joined that siege force. So I basically didn't expose the catapults to any attack until I'd already wiped out his entire defense force. So then basically, now this is important to understand. When you are attacking from a single city, if you send a second siege from that same city, that second siege actually combines forces with the existing siege. Where if you send a siege from two different cities, they don't combine. And one siege attacks on the hour every hour on the interval, and then the second siege attacks every hour on the interval. And there's a lot to that timing. I'm not going to cover it all here, but there are different ways to do this, and sometimes it will involve coordination between two castles. One of the things that I've done on World 10 some, and I'm actually doing actively right now on 11 on an attack on Continent 20, is where you actually send your troop killing force from one castle. You have that siege set to hit, let's say, at 5 after the hour. And then your second siege is your Baron or your catapults or whatever you really don't want to expose to losses. And you have that siege actually hitting on the hour, but 5 minutes, staggered 5 minutes later. So what happens is every hour, your troop killing force, your big group, your 100,000 Zerks or whatever you have, is wiping out anything he could have possibly built or anything that might have arrived in the previous 55 minutes. And then 5 minutes later, your Baron sits there and advances your power of siege or your claim, or your catapults do the damage, and you don't expose that Baron as much to possible death and or your catapults to being killed. So basically that's an overall, but in this case I didn't really need to coordinate anything like that for this guy, so I'm just basically streaming my catapults to join this assault while it's in progress. So now what catapults do, for those that may not be tracking, catapults are actually attacking the buildings. So in this attack, the woodcutter's hut, one of his woodcutter's hut went from level 3 down to level 2. One of his farms went from level 6 down to level 5. One of his cottages from 6 to 5. It's actually reducing the level of his buildings. Now this is only 42 catapults, so these aren't very devastating, and actually I think some of this, now night protection wasn't on yet, but as you kind of progress down through, this brought down his barracks by 9. Brought down his level 10 barracks to a level 9 barracks. That reduced his troop count down to, down by 500 if I recall. Actually more than that with the castle. So then the next siege, he was trying to build some troops. My Zerkers wiped them out, killed a sloop and a couple of one of those Templars, yeah, Templars, and knocked down the building level. I'm not going to go through frame by frame, but basically what's happening here is every hour on the hour that siege force is hitting, as I'm building catapults, I'm adding more catapults to the mix. I was really aggressive on this one, so I attacked earlier than ideally I should. It was just a weak target, so I didn't really have to build all the way up. And getting into some of the later attacks, earlier today, I'm up to 128 catapults, doing level of damage to his farms, 3 levels to his cottages, 2 to his iron, down to recent attacks. I think this is the last one. Now I'm up to 180 catapults because I just keep feeding catapults into this attack as it's just sitting there just attacking every hour. Those catapults are just dragging those building levels down. And in fact, let me see if this is the last. Yeah, this is the most recent attack. Happened just a few minutes ago. 180 catapults. He's not even really able to build any more troops. His resources are low. His building levels are getting low. On this line, you can see how I did 2 levels of damage to a hut, two levels of damage to just hammering away at those buildings, and he's down to a point where his building levels are really low. He only has 14 levels of barracks. That's that's 2 barracks total, and he's just slowly losing his buildings. At this stage, he is down to a 1700 score. And as the siege continues, I'm just feeding more catapults in. Normally on an attack like this, if I was attacking a significant target, it would have been more like 100,000 Zerkers wiping everything out, followed by 1,000 catapults. And then just to get an idea of what's coming, 1,000 catapults could, in just a few hours, take a city's ability to produce resources and troops down considerably. It actually cripples the city quickly, which is part of what's coming in terms of our strategies in dealing with more powerful opponents. Anyway, I thought I would just kind of cover the mechanics of that particular attack. My strategy here, that was the other thing, is I'm going to hit this city. I'm basically going to grind it down to a very low level. Then I'm actually going to send a Baron to conquer it. And as soon as I conquer it, it's going to be a little expensive, but my objective is to eliminate the castle and empty the space. So I'm going to send 1 Baron to conquer it and then abandon it. So I'll burn about 200,000 in resources to basically for that settlement. But as soon as I abandon it, I get the Baron back, and now that city's a lawless city. If anybody grabs it, I'm going to pounce them. But hopefully then that lawless city degrades, and I've seen him turn to ruins and then turn to dust before. And I'm 90% sure if I take like a level, there's certain buildings that you can't destroy, so my catapults can't finish the job here. But if I bring him down to a level 50, where he's just got a few buildings in there, then I conquer it with a Baron, and then I abandon it. It should leave a lawless, low-level city that would then degrade, and then I've seen him turn to ruins, and then actually clear the spot. And then later, one of us, maybe me, maybe somebody else on the shrine, can grab that and turn it into a res city. The reason I don't want a castle on that location, I want another res city there, either mine or someone else's. So this is about castle elimination, not about conquering it. As soon as I'm done with this guy, he's next. So, thought you'd like to see some of those mechanics. I'm actually going to do one on another coordinated attack that's a little more involved than this one, so I'll probably do another one here in just a moment.